all systems go. Clear for liftoff. What's up, everyone? Tyler Tamboline here, aka ToeTagginTambo, back for another edition of the Friday Night NBA Show here on the Mayo Media Network, collaboration with SHIPIT Nation. Got my guy Hamwich here with me. As always, we're going to break down these 9 games tonight, go through everything. We got a little bit of news right before we hopped on, that late night Laker news. Anthony Davis probable now, so we're good to go with that. Shout out to everybody in the chat. If you're just joining us, we appreciate it. If you're here for the first time, that's awesome. Smash that like, subscribe to the channel. And then a couple more things quick. I don't know if you guys watched it today. Maybe you didn't have time yet, but for those that don't know, I do the show with Mayo Friday mornings, giving away 10% of my King of the Beach winnings next week in Miami. So already guaranteed 5,000, can win up to 300,000. So anywhere from 500, which I upped the ante to 600 because I'm going to give away 6 $100 prizes as of now, up to 6 $5,000 prizes. So real quick, how you enter that draw, it's simple. Go to the SHIPIT Nation YouTube station. Just open another tab quickly. I'll throw it in there after. You have to subscribe to the channel, but I would never know that you did. So what you have to do after you subscribe is also go to the video that says SHIPIT member wins $1 million. Our guy D-Dry came on. He was nice enough to do an interview. Great dude. After he won the $1 million, go in there and comment. You'll see other people put them. Those are the people you'll be in the draw with, but you could win anywhere from $100 up to $5,000 for doing that. There's some more ways to get in on this channel as well. They were on the show today. You guys can go and check that out. If you want to check out shipitnation.com, you can go there now. Use promo code MAYO to get 10% off. It's any membership, monthly, 6-month, annual, whatever. It comes with the content, the projections, the tools, and then access to the community. Can't say enough about that. We talk about it all the time. Lots of good people there. Lots of people that are in here now and appreciate you guys for that. And they talk about it plenty. The Discord is the place to be. Hamwich, happy Friday afternoon, my friend. How are you doing this afternoon? What's going on?
Yeah, what's going on, Tambo? It's Friday, so that's good. Obviously, get into some NBA tonight. We've been absolutely crushing over here. Hebrew Cheetah, can't say enough good things about him. He's been on point with his stuff all season long. Boomer with the projections. We're rocking and rolling. Looking forward to a profitable night tonight and get into the weekend and everybody's favorite NFL Week 10 on Sunday with you and the boys on Sunday morning. Looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, loving this weekend ahead. It's going to be a great one. Last night, huge night. We had a couple membership, one for 5,000, one for 4,000, a bunch of good stuff in the Discord. Hebrew just put in work 24/7. So chat with him a little later tonight. Actually, the guy's just working his ass off. Love to see that. He's just crushing it for the members. Butter, 1989. Our guy went back-to-back nights winning the $2,500 mega ticket. So people are picking up on those satellites. They're in the course that comes with when you sign up. But shout out to everybody in the chat right now. We'll get Luke. We'll set you up on this. Love that. We'll talk about it. There'll be some Tamboisms, I'm sure. My guy Alex, appreciate you. Bowl, K-Ped. Who else? Evan, what's the Golden Tee champion? Evan Gossett's in the building. Parabay, happy to see you, my friend. And you finally came over. We appreciate you, man. Our guy Tweezy, as always. OMG, Sean, Kevin. And then Parabay, I won't answer your other comment I saw after. It did give me a chuckle, but yeah. We'll be in Miami. We'll let you know. I'm down there next Thursday through the Monday. So we'll be at the Lowe's is where we're staying down there. So anybody who's in the area can definitely let me know. Mark, shout out to you. Mitchell, just lots of people. Mitchell says, let's go. Showdown saved me last night. Paid for my NBA. Here for the flop leg tonight. We'll be talking about that for sure. So many more. Appreciate all you guys. Again, smash that like on the way in. And I think what we'll do, Ham, I'm going to share screen. I think we're going to do the same thing as last week. Got a lot of good feedback on this. People hate it. So be it. It's our show. I want to try it this way. I like it. So, it's a lot of fun. We can go through with our actual projections. They will update closer to lock. So you'll want to become a member to get full access to it, but just show them off. Who cares, right? We can bust it out, show the value. If you guys are wondering what this is, not going to go through the full marketing spiel right now because I'm losing my voice a little bit this weekend. But just of note, if you do join the nation and you go here and use promo code MAYO and pick a plan that gets access to all this, we always note it. Some people come back and say, oh, I didn't get an optimizer. No, for $69 a month, most places charge $170 a month for both. Here, it's a lot less, more close to $100. But if you go to the solver, and go to it, you'll see it here with our logo. It does come preloaded. They fixed it now, so it's all 6 sports with the ownership and player projections. You can get in for as little as $34.99 a month for just NBA, or more, save more over time for all sports if you get in for the 6-month plan. But I just wanted to show you that that's how you get here. And then when you get here, you'll see our projections when they were last updated. They'll update throughout the day. But we got 9 games, Ham. So let's get into this thing, my friend. And we'll start with our guy, Luke. He asked this off the top. Could we play ball with Kuzma? Is he still no Rozier? Hayward is probable, but the 2 top values in our projections in this game are LaMelo and Kuzma. So give me your thoughts on this one, Ham. What are we doing with this game?
Yeah, this is going to be a good game. It's going to be popular too, from what I'm seeing out there. You have the Wizards, who have the highest team total on the slate, and the Hornets coming in number 4. You don't see it every day that the Wizards are favored over somebody. I saw Hebrew had X'd out or tweeted out on, I don't know what you call it these days, Tambo, but something about Jordan Poole saying he's getting his, and they're losing, but he's shooting it 30 times a game, so he's doing good. So just getting into this game, LaMelo Ball profiles very well with us. Rozier's been out. He had 71 DK points, I think 2 games ago. I think he had 58 before that. Yeah, you're pulling it up, but no Terry Rozier. He's 10K on DraftKings. And for those that don't know, I play a lot of my action on FanDuel. He's $9,100 on FanDuel, Tambo. So he is almost a must-play for – he's definitely a must-play for cash over there on FanDuel. I would be very interested in him in tournaments too. He's going to get the usage. It doesn't look like he's on a minutes restriction anymore. And at $9,100 on FanDuel, he's pretty good play over there. 10K is a really good play on DraftKings as well. He would be my favorite in this game. Kyle Kuzma, man, he's been something else as well. I think he's been a little bit better, in my opinion, as it relates to Jordan Poole and some of the newer additions that they have. But, he's logged 20 shots, 19 shots his last 3 games. I would like to see him play a little bit more minutes. I mean, if he could get, just 4 more minutes a night, those numbers would even go higher than that. So I like Kuzma as my favorite Wizard. Daniel Gafford will be a talking point tonight. He burned a lot of people on, I think that was Wednesday, Tambo.
Yeah, the foul trouble, right?
Got some foul trouble and did not play a lot. I personally don't have much interest in Daniel Gafford. I don't think he's a very good basketball player. And with the center position only being a 1-position spot on FanDuel, would even lower it even more because there is no utility over there on FanDuel. So I'll be interested to hear what your take is on Gafford. I'm personally out on Gafford, but really like LaMelo Ball, really like Kuzma, and then really like I like Jordan Poole. I know he's been up and down, but I think eventually he's going to go off and have one of those vintage games where he's just hot and makes 14 of 19 shots. So those would be the 3 that I'm focusing the most on.
Yeah, just a note too, I want to say what's up. First off, Charlie, first time with us. We appreciate you. If you have any questions, throw them in the chat. We try and get to most of them throughout. And then I love this take too. So there's Kevin. This is Butters. Butter 1989. He said, help me take down back-to-back 2,500 Mega Milli seats. But I did see this and I loved it. Mitchell says, SHIPIT NFL Showdown saved me last night. So he got it. He got there with NFL Showdown and not with NBA. And then you scroll down to Ross, crushed NBA, got slapped by Showdown. See, that's the benefit of the community. Like, again, people are, oh, you only show this guy win. Like, only so many people can win each night, but we all got the same goals in mind. And that's what's funny about it, is like sometimes you see certain people winning in one sport and not in the other, but there's channels for all that. It's separated. And Parabay, yeah, if you're down there, man, just shoot me a DM in the Discord or add me there or whatever. When you get down, we'll come out and meet you, get you over there, whatever it might be. But Michael, man, hating on Poole. I wanted to be traded already. I will say this. You see it here, and this isn't updated. Obviously, we'll get ownership updated the closer we get to lock. But I actually don't hate this start here, by the way, because like you look down here, he's not our best projected value, but like Kuzma and LaMelo is going to be a popular pairing. It's harder to get away from LaMelo. I know he's 10K, so he was, well, at least with the price on FanDuel, like you said, it's really hard to get away over there. But it's still fine because you know what the role is. You know who he's playing with. Like, it's just tough to move off in a lot of these spots. His value is good even at that price. You see what he's capable of. You can use this to show you everything. Like the last 2 games, 71.5 and 50. It doesn't mean it's going to be the same, but if he falls 50 plus, you feel pretty good about that. And then like Poole's just going to chuck for most cases. So, if you go to these previous games, 15, 14, 30, 23, 18, slowed down a little bit lately, but he can still put up the big games, and no one's really going to be on him tonight versus Kuzma. So I don't hate that. I'm with you on the Gafford take. I know Hayward is probable. Did you have any quick take on Hayward, Washington, any of those two guys?
Yeah, you said it. I mean, at the end of the day, I think LaMelo is going to be the one, at the end of the game, taking those shots. Gordon in Washington, I guess Gordon more than Washington for me. I don't think I'm going to prioritize either one of them. If I do a 20 max or something, I might slip one or two in, but not really with me.
Okay.
I mean, I will say this though, the Wizards defense is pretty bad. So now that I think about it, you might need a second Hornet in there, but I'm going to limit my exposure to anybody but LaMelo.
And I guess I don't hate getting more guys. Like for me, it might be, again, coming off the Q tag was probable, fine last night. I think Hayward would be okay. It does have the big total. So I think people are going to be thinking about other pieces. Gafford was the one you mentioned there. Like I said, I'm not as high on him as some of the other people are, but obviously the foul trouble may not happen this time around. So then if you get that spot, you've got a better option there. So I don't hate getting more pieces in the early game, but there is a lot of games here tonight. We got 8 more. It's kind of almost the sweet spot. I know people like 5 to 8 or 6 to 8. It's 9. It's okay. And I'm sure there's a couple of spots here. This might be one. I don't know. There's good values in this spot. People are worried about the blowout ham, but like our guy Hebrew says, like if you look at it, Joel Embiid could be the one to cause the blowout. Tyrese Maxey, he could be the guy to cause the blowout. So where are you going in this next one? We got Philly, Detroit. Philly, big favorites on the road. Obviously, they like them, but ownership sort of kept in check, at least as of now. That's what I'm seeing. 11-2 though for Embiid. What are you doing here with this one?
Yeah. Like you said, I didn't watch. I looked at Hebrew's slate plan. If you're a member over at SHIPIT Nation, you got to make sure you're checking that every day. I mean, Embiid's just been a monster this year. No Harden, so his assists have gone up a little bit. He did note that the Pistons are a little bit tougher. He gets the center position at the rim versus most, and so our projections really love Embiid tonight, and I don't see any reason not to. Everything is really flowing and funneling through Embiid. If you do think it's going to be a blowout, I do think it's that would be my only consideration for a fade. But if the Pistons can keep it within 10 points, with under 3 or 4 minutes in the fourth, I think Embiid's going to get his full complement of 35 plus minutes. He's going to get the assist. He's going to get the rebounds. He's going to get the points as well. Block shots. I think he's a tough fade tonight as well at the center position. He looks really good. On the Pistons side, they haven't been terrible DFS players. I mean, our projections project Cade Cunningham and Thompson to be the best two. They've been dynamite all year long as well. The rookie, Marcus Sasser, his price is up to $5,800. I don't know if you remember. I think it might have been Monday when Nades and I were talking about him. $4,400, so up $1,400 over the course of the week. I'm going to be a little bit less exposed to him, just at 58, but he's had a good rookie season. He's starting to see more minutes as well. But the extent for me is going to be Joel Embiid, Cade Cunningham, Austin Thompson, and then Tyrese Maxey. I don't hate him as well. 8,100 is just a steep price to pay, in my opinion, for him. But he did shoot it 27 times last game, so be interested to see what you think on him.
Yeah, I was just going back to pull it up with Poole in the spot as well, because he's obviously more, $900 more, but he's projecting as a better value. Again, I want to lean into the Embiid price especially if people are scared of the blowout, because it would likely be him that causes it. But at the same note, it could be Maxey. And then if the game does stay close and you see something ridiculous, like look at his shots, 27, 16, 18, 16, 20. I know you got to make them, but realistically, man, look at these 50s, 46, 46, 47, 57, 54. And man, I just don't know, like 10% he's showing right now. We'll have to see how ownership updates later. I'm not going to go just off ownership, but I definitely have interest based off of that. And maybe that's a spot you could go to instead of the previous game where I was looking at and just try and keep it a little more balanced. But like Embiid, like Maxey, after that, I don't know, the Sasser thing is interesting, but like you said, that's quite the price bump on him. So 5,800, while these numbers look legit, it's like, yeah, 11 for 17 to get that. You got to have the extras mixed in. So can he do it again? Possibly. I'll trust the projections probably a little bit more in that spot. I like when a guy like Maxey is still a positive value, but not picking up the steam because of it. And there is still people shying away because he's not 7,900 or 7,800. He's 8,200. So it's a little bit more. You guys know I always talk about Best Buy pricing. If the TV's $799, it sells on the front page a lot better than $820. That's what happens here. That's where you see the ownership get swapped around when Maxey's at 8,200 like that. So I'm okay with it. Anything else on that game that you want to bring up? If not, we can move to Boston and Brooklyn. And I just was seeing if I missed anything else on that last one. But go ahead. Let's talk about this next one, Ham. And if people have questions, throw them into the chat. We'll try and get to them for you. This next one's got some heavy injuries, right? Like Cam Thomas, out. Ben Simmons, out. Claxton's been pushed all the way back to the G League. Horford, out. Like there's just a bunch of guys that were already missing or are out now. So what's your thoughts on this next one? Brooklyn and Boston. I know you liked Cam Thomas in the past and last week, but there's no option to go there now. You got to go somewhere else. So what are we doing with this spot?
Yeah, the Celtics have the second highest team total on the slate, so they're obviously going to score around 120 according to Vegas, which is a lot of basketball points for them. Al Horford being out doesn't really impact the Browns, the Tatum, the Porzingis, the Holidays. I mean, this team's just absolutely loaded. So Al Horford would have been way down there anyway. But on the other side, I mean, obviously, Cam Thomas, he's shooting it. I don't know what, Tambo, 20 times a game. He's shooting it a bunch, 25 times a game. Those are going to have to go to somebody. Mikal Bridges, 7,700, have interest in him. Cam Johnson, who, last year, Cam Johnson had a heck of a season and is just slowly getting back. I'm assuming he's playing tonight because he's missed the last couple of games. But if Cam Johnson is back, which I think he is, he's 5,100. He's going to shoot it a bunch, especially with Cam Thomas out. I like Cameron Johnson. So I just need to confirm that Cam Johnson, maybe someone that can chat can help me out. I haven't
seen.
He's
good. He's good to go. He was out for a while and he's back now. So he's 5,100 tonight. And you mentioned it, like 34 shots from Cam Thomas a couple games ago, 23 before that. Like he's just been chucking it. So it's not to say they all go to Cam Johnson. That's just not true. But at 5,100, he's definitely someone you could consider and take a shot on. We're projecting him for 23 right now. And I'm not sure. I'll pull it up on the other side. Keep going. Keep talking. I'll pull up the other side of this. But let me see what we got for Cam Johnson minutes.
Yeah, Cam Johnson. I would love to see what his minutes are going to be. I mean, if he's on a minutes restriction, I'm not 100% certain. Someone in the chat had mentioned Trendon Watford. I'm not going there. Would be interested to see what you have to take on that. I mean, for me, the guys that I want would be their heavy hitters. Mikal Bridges, I really like. $7,700 is a steep price to pay, but 34, 39, 38 minutes, 11 shots, 21 shots, 20 shots. I like Mikal Bridges, probably my favorite net, with no Ben Simmons, with no Cam Thomas. That would be my favorite one. Deron Sharp, 4,300. Still not going to get there. He's just not playing enough. He just didn't do enough for me. And then those Celtics guys, I mean, Jaylen Brown at 7,800 would probably be the best value. He can do it in so many ways. I can't believe he's that far, much different price than Tatum. He's playing 35-plus minutes a game. He's shooting it 20 times a game. He can do rebounds, assists, steals. So Jaylen Brown would be where I'd have the most interest on that Celtics side. They're going to score 120 points, so you're going to have to have some in your player pool at least.
Sometimes, though, they're like the Kansas City Chiefs of the NBA. Like now, especially with the new squad, with Drew, with KP, those guys in there, and obviously Tatum always could be in the mix. It's like they just end up eating each other's lunch where nobody ends up being needed. Now, you've seen Brown have a couple games where, because they've priced him down now this season, some games it's been warranted. Some games he does Jaylen Brown things where he can. Obviously, he's a good player. So we know that. He got paid All-Star last season. Like, he can do a lot. So it's just to show it. But just so you guys know, too, like this is another angle on our site when you go under the projections here, even if you don't have an optimizer or if you're with somebody else, you can download the CSV or copy them right over. But you can also just search them one-off. And so I pulled Cameron Johnson. We got him at 26 minutes in here. You can download the CSV, swap things around, then plump it into your optimizer, whatever you want to do. But this just shows a quick breakdown on him. For now, he doesn't show the ownership like we would expect to see a little bit more as we get closer to game time. But maybe because of these projections, he'll be down just a little bit. But here's the Jaylen Brown I was talking about, 19 on 36 minutes, 42, 30. It's just so sporadic. But there's a 58. It just keeps you sort of sucked right back in, right? Like the old Jim Carrey, like tractor beam, suck me right back in. Like you can do it for 7,800, but you also have to know that it can be these other guys. And then Tatum, 10-1. It's tough because he's just been like a walking 45-50. And we're got a guy later on I'll get to that's only just a little bit more that I love and I just always want to play. So I don't know. I don't have much more that I want to talk about here. I do think there's potential for these guys, but because the total, like you said, it's at home, all that, but it's just can be a thing where a lot of these guys end up eating each other's lunch. I do have a little bit of interest in Cam Johnson, like you said, on the other side, some of these other options here. But you gotta get different. Some places, this would be a spot I'd be willing to do it.
Yeah. Just one thing on Tatum. I mean, if he gets his 50 again, I mean, like you always talked about with Sabonis, I keep going back to Sabonis from a couple weeks ago. Like there's going to be somebody that gets 50 at like 7,800 that Tatum won't even matter, more likely than not on a 9-game slate. So I think I'm out on Tatum. I mean, he's going to have to get 65, 70, in my opinion, to really make a difference.
Yeah,
I don't know if
I
you
agree.
agree with that or disagree.
No, that's what I was just saying. Like, it's tough. Not only is there guys that can cut into him, it's that he has to really get the score. And like we've seen 60 here, like 659 way back here. But like it's just tough every single game. And he's still doing his thing. It's just not adding up to enough at these prices. So it could be a thing. It's just not popping heavily for us. And that's why. And then there's other guys that can eat his lunch. So definitely think that's possible. This game has a interesting one. Like you got Utah, Memphis. Both totals are relatively healthy. And they're up there. And I think there is some plays in this game. And then I'll scroll it over so you guys can see it. But right now, especially, our projections still like this. I guess Michael mentioned it. Like, yeah, maybe that's a value you could go to. A little bit thin, maybe, but definitely possible for like a Derek White in there. It is possible still. So I don't hate that. But let's move on. Let's go to Memphis, Utah. What are you doing here with this one?
Yeah, this is an exciting game for me in DFS purposes. I think there's a lot of viable options. Once again, I'll use Hebrew slate plan, which was on point. Lauri Markkanen getting 51% of his points on the three-point line, and the Grizzlies are top 3 and worst teams guarding the three-point line. So really like Lauri Markkanen tonight. Really like Desmond Bane tonight. Desmond Bane's been an integral part of this team. Obviously not winning games, but getting the fantasy points, which is what we're playing for. So I don't mind Desmond Bane tonight. Lauri Markkanen, like I just alluded to. Keontae George kind of moved into a starting role for this Jazz team, finished the game 31 minutes for the rookie last time out. I think he's 4,700 for Keontae George. He went
up almost $1,000 though. I will say that.
He went up he was 3,700 last time.
I think he was 38, but still almost 1,900.
Yeah, that's a big jump, right? Yeah, kind of like the Sasser thing. But give me Desmond Bane, give me Lauri Markkanen. The Jazz, I mean, I feel like they give up 140 points every single night. Obviously, they don't give up that many, but feels that way. And on the flip side, the Grizzlies are just as bad defensively as well. I think that Marcus Smart trade was not very good, but for them. But who was out for the Grizzlies? I can't.
So Tillman is out tonight.
Tillman, that's who it was. Yeah.
And then I think also too, Conchar and Zaire Williams are both questionable as well.
Yeah, that's right. My boy Bismack Biyombo. That's why he projects so well at the center position for Tillman. I'm not going to Busy, who was literally sitting on his couch last week. No, thank you there. So just the usual suspect for the Grizzlies, but I really like him tonight. Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr., Markkanen, and Keontae George would kind of be the extent of it for me. I mean, Clarkson chucks, but he shot it 26 times last game, but his price is kind of steep there at 6,400. Be interested to see what your take is on Clarkson.
Yeah, I'm going to just do it because I know our guy Hebrew's in the chat. This man puts in a lot of work. I really appreciate everything he does. I know a lot of the members do as well. He's in there all the time, just grinding it out. I want to find this one. There was two in here that I really liked, and one of them was that. Where's it at here now? I just got to find this for you guys, and then I'll show it. But, man, Clarkson right here. You get a couple in here today with this one, so let me see this. Let's get the Clarkson right here. So this is the slate plan that Hebrew Cheetah does. And I'm just going to zoom it up so you can see it. But this is amazing to be able to wake up to this every morning. This is just one of the things on the site under NBA slate plan. Works on it all night. He's on the far West Coast. So he puts this all in. Like this was the nugget that he had. I love tidbits. Talk about him all the time. He says, very good playing into his strengths, But Indy's a rim funnel. Attempted 3 shots from behind the 3 line. But if you were watching the game, like I was, being the sad Jazz fan that I am, shout out to Hebrew, then you would notice he was extremely aggressive attacking the rim. This is evident in his free throw attempts. Go back and look, right? When he gets to the rim in these games, that's when you're seeing his biggest performances. So that was a nugget that I really liked and that you just brought up. Last time these two teams faced off, he went 4 for 6 from 3, attempted 0 free throws, and still put up almost 40 in a blowout win. And then he admits the truth, right? He's streaky as they come, but when he has it going, he can get into the 40s. And that's kind of one of the things that I like about this setup. We talked about it earlier with Poole. It's not that you're putting them all into the same lineup at the same time, but the idea is that if you are playing some of these guys that aren't quite positive values on the slate with our projections, and that's as of right now, we can still see things update as we get closer to lock. More things can come up, more news, all of that. But sort of at that mid-tier price range, I might have more interest in him, even though you do have to find a bunch more money to get to it, I might still take a shot on him over like a George going up $1,000 right away, give or take, like, something like that. He also has one in there on Aldama. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out with the injuries and stuff too. But he is $4,800, $100 less than Bismack, different position. So you can flip the build around a little bit and stuff too. But if Bismack does get popular based on the news on Tillman, it's not like he's crazy for this price at $4,800. So I just thought that was another one that's interesting as well. Is there anything else within this game you liked? I like the Markkanen call. I like the Bane call. I like the Clarkson call. And then we'll see on the other values. But at least we got a close, tight game here on the spread. And then still a pretty decent total. So I could play some of these guys in this lineup, no problem. Is there anything else there that you saw?
Yeah, nothing else that nothing else that I saw. I mean, Tillman is confirmed out from what I see, and yeah,
He's
I mean,
done.
there's just and going back to Hebrew, I mean, that man is writing this at like 3 a.m. in my time, so he's working his butt off, like you said. But there's a lot of guys written up in this game, Tambo, and this game may get overlooked a little bit. I think the Grizzlies are actually favored, which I know they got blown out last time in Utah. So now you get them back home. This game shoots out into the 130s, 140s. I think you're going to need several pieces. And good point on the Clarkson. I did not see the Clarkson thing. So, yeah, seeing good news. Yeah, we're waiting on that. So,
yeah,
I really like
later, but that is big for sure. One question that was asked here that I missed that was relevant here to this one was Kennard, if Zaire ruled out.
Yeah, Luke Kennard. Yeah, I don't mind Luke Kennard. He hasn't been playing a whole lot from let me just confirm that. I don't think he's been playing a whole lot, but Zaire Williams has been relatively good.
He's taken 7 to 9 shots here at showing. Like, obviously, he's got the ability to get you a value price tag at 4,300. So
yeah, the thing with Kennard though is like he's more of a scorer than he is a rebounder or an assist guy. So it's going to be tougher in my opinion. He's going to have to go for 25 real life points in my opinion. But could he do that? Possibly. I think I could just find better players at 4,300 for 4,700 for the George type player. I think I'm out on Kennard. I mean,
he needs to hit him too, like 4 for 7, 5 for 9. Like, if he ain't doing that, if you get the 1 for 9 game and he's not luck boxing into 8 rebounds that fall right in his lap, it's going to be tougher for sure. So I agree with you there, but I do think with looking at ownership, still looks okay to go to this game, and there's probably no problem there. So, all right, we can move on. Let's keep it rolling. Let's go to this next one. We got Minnesota, San Antonio here. Here's our value rankings with the projections on this one. Let's talk through this game. Ham, what do we got with this one?
I think this game is going to be one that I'm going to be less interested in, maybe the most. I mean, you could play those guys that you see there under the value. I just think I'm going to go elsewhere. I mean, this Timberwolves team, they've been pretty electric, pretty exciting at home. 2 big wins this season. They beat who? They beat the Nuggets at home, and they beat the Celtics the other night in overtime, which was pretty awesome game. Watching Ant just over there, just stealing the ball and stuff. So that was pretty cool. But for whatever reason, this Spurs team, I just feel like Pop is just. I'm trying to compare him to like an NFL coach. He just makes me so mad and just does stupid things, in my opinion. Obviously, he's a great coach and he's won a bunch. But Wemby, you could always play him. But I'm going to be lower than the field in this game.
Yeah, I think the field's going to be low in this game, but it is probably as well for good reason. Like when you look at it, like Towns, Edwards, Gobert, like all these guys you got to contend with. The scoring, whatever ends up happening, if it's a possible blowout, something like that. Like, and then you got like it's Collins, Wemby. What's Wemby's price on FanDuel? By the way, perfect comparison here, because I was like, who makes stupid decisions in the NFL? Well, stupid decisions would be like an Arthur Smith, and you can't compare him at all to a guy like Pop. So it's like you need someone good, and it's really not necessarily just stupid decisions. It's decisions that tilt fantasy players. And that's definitely the perfect comparison. Belichick, same accolades, incredible coaches, all-time Hall of Fame greats at what they do, but they tilt the shit out of you, and they just don't care because it has nothing to do with them. They're just trying to do their job, get the game figured out. And Ross says we got news. Harbaugh suspended final 3 games of the Big Ten. So interesting news in the CFB streets. But
yeah, Wemby's 8,500. He's showing a positive value over there. Cat and Anthony Edwards are showing the biggest values in that game. But yeah, I just feel like Wemby. I don't play him, and he goes for like 38 in the desert against the Suns, and I do play him, and he has like 14 points and plays like 19 minutes. Just so tilting, playing a Pop guy, similar to Belichick. That's a good call out.
Yeah, I think it's more like this too, like the FanDuel call. So I brought it up for those that don't know or join it for the first time, whatever it might be. Appreciate you watching, obviously, but just saying it, like the steals and blocks really add up over there. So that's where, again, at that price, I would actually have more interest over on FanDuel. My guy Hebrew did talk me into this one a little bit too, though. But man, you got Jason Tatum numbers for $1,000 less over here with the same type of bullshit, like still playing with the same crew of dudes that can eat his lunch or get in the mix. But Edwards likes to take control. He's been chucking it 22, 25, 19, 21, not even really making them. Like some games, yes, but not really. And still 50, 50, 60, 50, 48.
Yeah, that's what I always like to look at, Tambo. If you look at his last 2 games, he's shooting, what is that? I'm not a math major, but 25% from the 3. I mean, if he just hits, 2 or even 1 more of those, I mean, if he hits 2, he's obviously going up, 7 points or so. So on an average, he's probably a 40% 3-point shooter. I mean, I play the law of averages. He's had 2 bad games. He's going to come out and hit 40% tonight or 50%. Yeah, Ant's probably not the worst play tonight, but what are we showing for ownership on him? I bet it's sub 10% if I had to guess.
9.7 right now. Again, we'll see what things update to. This is definitely not updated yet, so don't take that for what it is yet, but that's why we're showing it off now. As the night goes on, all this stuff will continue to get updated more aggressively, especially as we get closer to lock. And then we update our projections. Our guy Boomer's on at 24/7, leading right up to the next game, to the next game, to the next. So if you're doing your late swaps, things like that, you're in good business there, good shape. And then also for the end games, for the showdown stuff tonight, I'll show that after. Hebrew's going to do that up, full projections for that as well. But someone said it, the Ian Edwards stands for effort. The effort is definitely there. He's putting them up. He's getting shots up. He's still putting up numbers. And that's with, like you said, some of these games not having the best from a shooting numbers. So we'll see how it goes tonight, but I definitely don't hate him as a one-off at that price.
What's your take on Wemby tonight?
FanDuel.
FanDuel? Okay.
Yeah, I like him more on FanDuel, definitely. That's what I was saying earlier. Like, if you're going to rack up those types of blocks, upside, things like that, and people say, like, oh, that would still be important for the other side. It's not necessarily true, right? Like, you go look at it here, like a 4-block game with 36. And he still shot 6 for 12. Like, he still got 8 boards. Like, that's not necessarily going to cut it, especially at this price tag. So that's why I'm saying I would rather translate it over to FanDuel. Like, everything else hasn't been that great. So I'd rather get the extra where it's worth extra, and he's the same price over on FanDuel with 10K more salary to play with. Cool?
Yep. All
right, let's move on. So we're waiting on the news. It was brought up earlier. The chat's already talking about Eason. There's going to be talks here. Here's Eason here. There's somebody else, too. I forgot in this game they were mentioned earlier. Oh, yeah, Jock.
Again.
Well, we'll wait on the news. We still have him in because right now we're waiting on what we get, but assuming, let me see what the latest on him is here. Where am I missing this? Oh, I got it here. The latest I saw on him was still questionable. So yeah, we'll see. But obviously Landale will pop up in the projections if that happens. But anything, first thoughts on this one? We got to wait on injury news, but other guys, or we can do if this, then that. If he's out, then what are you doing? That's what we got to look at from this perspective. If he's in, what are you doing? And we'll go from there.
Yeah, no, this is going to be a good game. I mean, right? I mean, we got probably a pick 'em spread. I mean, this Rockets team, they got basically a lot of new players. They got a new coach playing really good defense. It's tough to score on these guys. We saw that with the Lakers. We do have the news that CJ McCollum is out for the Pelicans. Obviously, he's going to be out for a while. Herb Jones is questionable, so I think we're waiting on that news. Last I saw on Underdog, he was still questionable, but this Rockets team, to me, I mean, outside of Sengun, right? They have a lot of different mouths to feed. Not household names like maybe like the Celtics, but there's a lot of mouths to feed there, in my opinion, for the Rockets. But this Sengun guy, really has burst onto the scene, has had some really good games. We need to see what he is. Then if he's out, the leverage off him would be Landale. I think people, sprint to Landale at $3,400 if Sengun's out. We saw Jock last year, with the Suns, had a couple good games at $3,400. He doesn't have to do a whole lot, Tambo, to pay off that price tag. So give me some Jock if Sengun's out. And then I think I'm going to be a little less interested in the Pelicans than I should be. Brandon Ingram, 8,700. It's a steep price to pay, in my opinion. He's going to have your boy, the Canadian Dylan the Villain, guarding him, I would assume. So no thank you on any of these Pelicans. Maybe Jordan Hawkins at 5,600, but I think I'm going to be out on Zion and Brandon at 88 and 8,700. You're on mute, Donkey. Hey, you're on mute.
And that's the first time in a while, actually, man. But it's because I lost my voice a
I
little
said
bit.
it twice.
I've been clearing my throat all show. But yeah, the note I was going to make was I was saying DraftKings was really good with their pricing tonight, like pretty tight. From what we've seen, the guys we looked at, Sasser and George, and now we got Hawkins here like this too. And Kevin's calling it out. Hoop, the mute donkey. I did it. Finally, it's happened. So there we go. We got that out of the way. We got our guy in here. This will tilt him, Tanner. But what if we said, hey, Tanner got the right pronunciation? Then he'd be like, what the hell? Like, I just tried to help you guys out. So either way, this is a spot you can go to. Eason, the chat was talking about earlier, he's been doing his thing lately. He's just a freak in the minutes that he's getting. Like last game, he played 14 minutes, had 9 boards, a block, and 9 points on 4 for 10 shooting. He's still getting up the shots in the games that he's played. And I guess it was just last game. This is last year's stuff. But to bring it up, last game, 14 minutes, 4 for 10, 9 rebounds, and 9 points. So at 3,800, interesting as well. And you can use him at small forward or power forward. So I know Landale will be the value there, but we'll have to wait and see on the news, go from there. So I don't have much else in this spot. I'm not as high. Obviously, we got the Zion news earlier today, but not much I'm on here. I want to go to these last 3 games because I think there's some interest within these ones. Anything else on that last game, Ham? If not, take us into this next one, Clippers and Dallas. And I'm just looking here too. I think we're waiting on Lively, right? He's questionable. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. I'll go into the next game. Yeah. Nothing else to add on that Pelicans Rockets game. I'm going to be lower than the field on that. I just think they're, better defensively, but, man, when I read Hebrew's slate plan and I saw the name James Harden on there and almost fainted over. I can't stand that guy. It's just a personal thing with me, but he's apparently a good fantasy player tonight. He's going to be really good on FanDuel, I believe, 7,700 over there on FanDuel. I think he's 8,400 on DraftKings, if I'm not mistaken.
82.
Okay, yeah, 82 on DK, 77 on FanDuel. So to me, he'd be a better play over there on FanDuel. He did log 36 minutes, 31 minutes. I thought he'd be on a minutes restriction coming in. That's what they said when they got him 2 games ago, but he played 31 minutes the first game. I will say this, though. Their record since James Harden has been on the Clippers is what, Tambo? 0-2. 0-2, baby.
Not good.
Not good. He is not a system player. He is a system. Well, his ass is going to be sitting at home with the system come June, in my opinion. In any event, for DK purposes or for fantasy purposes, he's not the worst play tonight at 8,200. I think a big talking point is going to be Luka, 11-7. Goodness gracious, that's a high price tag, but he's been lights out this year. To me, I think I'm going to have a little bit of interest in Kyrie. I mean, Kyrie, here's a guy shooting at 20 times a game. He's playing 37 minutes a night. He's going to be virtually unowned, in my opinion, tonight. I mean, his price is high, but I like him just from the simple fact of this game could get up and down with these 2 teams. And I think Luka and Kyrie are the 2 go-to guys on that team. So give me some Kyrie tonight at lower ownership. I'm out on Harden. I don't think I can get there, but I wouldn't think it's the worst play if you did get there.
Yeah. Who was it earlier in the games that I liked there? I was trying to see.
While you're talking about that, I got a question on Derek Jones in the chat. $4,000. I think that's a great price. I mean, he's playing 30 minutes a night. Or if he's playing 30 minutes at 4K, I think that's a great price. I don't know who would be waiting on. I don't see anybody. I mean, looks like Lively's questionable, but I don't know if that would impact him much. But Derek Jones at 4K, if he's going to get his minutes, I think that's a great play.
It looks like Maxey will be more owned than Harden, but and Harden projects better for us, but I kind of like Maxey earlier when we talked about him in that game. So yeah, I'm probably with you on that. I like your take there. We'll wait on the Lively news, but like you mentioned, the other stuff. I know earlier too, people were talking about Dwight Powell in the Discord. Like this is another guy that if you got these other guys like Maxi Kleba still out, and then you've got doubtful tonight, and then you've got the play we just talked about with Derek Jones. So
don't play Dwight Powell. I mean, that guy just stands on the basketball court, just looks at Luka do his thing. I mean, goodness gracious, the kid's shooting 1 time a game. Oh, yeah. Please don't play Dwight Powell.
That's why I brought it up. I let my guy Ham talk about this because people want to know, right? So you already broke it down from the other spots, so I think we're fine there. The Kyrie call, 8,700, but like you said, if you wanted to take a shot in here, maybe I think it'll be much less owned than what it shows right now. We'll see when it actually comes out, but for me, just not a lot here. I really like this next game, and I think others will as well. but the ownership's not showing it right now. So we'll wait and see. What's your thoughts on this next one? We got Sacramento, OKC. I mentioned a guy earlier that I'm going to be playing, and then I got another nugget to show after this. So go ahead. You take us into this one first.
Yeah, this is good. This should be a good game. I mean, obviously no De'Aaron Fox, so don't play De'Aaron Fox. He is out tonight. Been out for quite some time, but should be a good game. I mean, should be a pretty good total. Sacramento's been struggling, I guess you could say. I mean, they went to overtime with the Trailblazers the other night. We were sweating it there with my guy Butter. That was awesome. Sweating Jeremy Grant for the Trailblazers, not to do anything, but in any event, should be a good back and forth game. I know Kevin Huerter is popping for us, especially on FanDuel. He's just been so tough. He's been so bad this year. I mean, but there's a reason why he's so low priced. But Chet Holmgren, I feel like I talk about Chet Holmgren every Friday, Tambo. I just think he does a whole lot of everything, right? Rebounds, assists, blocks. He's tough. I don't mind Chet at that price, so he would probably be my favorite Thunder piece. 10-5 for SGA. Oh, that's a steep price to pay, in my opinion, for him. I'd rather go, Embiid or Doncic or somebody like that. I understand that they play different positions, but for that price tag, I'd rather get somebody else myself. But give me some Chet, give me some Elite Monk. He's going to chuck at 6K. Don't mind him. Outside of that, I heard some Lou Dort in the chat earlier at 5,500. He's been playing in the 30s, scoring 30 plus a night. That's probably not the worst play. Just going through here, I think for me it would be Monk, Holmgren. I don't mind Dort now looking at it, but that would kind of be the extent of it. You got me paranoid on Sabonis thinking 10Ks and have to get 60 to get there. So no Sabonis.
Slight dependent, but yeah, I definitely got another guy that I like. So I'll go to it here. So this was the second nugget in the slate plan from our guy Hebrew that I love. This is like how you play DFS and why people wonder like, oh, this guy doesn't know anything about NBA. How does he still win? Well, good projections tied with good information, and then put your GPP mind together to be able to build up the lineups. And I like this call. So he's got Monk in here. Can feel like chasing. I understand that, but it's really an if this, then that. And that's what I'm going to get to in a second. The Kings have been playing as one of the slowest teams in the league since Fox went down. Thunder have been playing as one of the fastest teams, 5th overall. Last 3 games, the Thunder have been involved and have been absolute shootouts. So it's possible. We're building the lineup for if this, then that. If it dies, it was dead anyway. It's just like in football. You play a stack. It doesn't work. That lineup's in the garbage. Hopefully your portfolio has a different quarterback. The week I won with Sam Howell, with you, with your slate plan, Ham, I only had so much Sam Howell. I had a bunch of guys that sucked that week for me, but the Sam Howell portion of my portfolio got there. This game is a good game to attack. You go back here, you can see it. Look at the totals up. The game is close. And now we're reading into this and saying, I'll finish it because I want to give the final point. But it says it could force them into a shootout. And if that was the case, the pace would go up. He says, I do wonder if the Kings opt for more defense against SGA, which would give Huerter, I forget how he says it, more run, or if they'll lean into more offense and play Monk extra minutes. It's worth noting Huerter and Monk did not share the court much last game until the 4th quarter in OT, which is kind of like when you have to down the stretch. Guys are getting tired, things like that. You just got to do what you got to do with your squad. So I would consider a max of 1. It doesn't actually exactly say this, but I really take a lot away from this when I'm building and reading this, because here's my thought process-wise. Okay, if Huerter is out there more, it probably actually slows the game down. It slows SGA down. We don't get as much scoring. The defense is there, things like that. So if I'm going to play this spot now that I gave you the nuggets, let's go back. I probably want to actually do this. And even though he's up there and Monk is down here just a little bit, I probably want to do this, because it means less of the D from Huerter. It means probably more points, more minutes, more scoring. And if he's out there longer, he might be scoring more as well. And then you go back and look, and you said price to pay. Well, we did this exercise earlier with a potential blowout for Jason Tatum. The fact that he's got 3 other dudes around him, including at least one that can do work like Jaylen Brown, and a similar price tag of 10K. And he doesn't have the 65s like this on there. He doesn't have as much of the consistency really. And then on top of it, this guy doesn't have to deal with a blowout or a bunch of other dudes or all that stuff. So I really do think this is a little mini stack if you could get into your lineups that I got a lot of interest in. So I'm following it. I like that thought process. I think it's a way you can go about it in some lineups. And at 10-5, I actually think there's a higher chance of him doing it, which, of note, I should say this going back to our site, the ceiling rankings are coming soon. And when we have these are exactly what I was using last season with my live final seats and things like that. It was nights like tonight when there's a bunch of 10K studs and you're like, well, if I do this, then what happens here? Oh, now I'm missing out on that stud. It was able to tell you at their current price, how many times have they been hitting and what's the percentage likelihood, almost like a simulation to go out and see how often they're going to hit it to make it worth your while. So love that nugget from our guy Hebrew. I'll be building this combo into some lineups for sure. That's all I got on this one. Let's go to this final game, Ham. If you got nothing else, talk to me about this last one. We got Lakers, Phoenix to round the night out. We got the news. Davis, good to go, probable at least. So we expect him to play. Jackson Hayes, probable. Michael asked if the news came out before the show started. They're probable. It's unlikely about Chase and Rui or going back to that one. So give me your thoughts on this game, Ham. What do you got?
Yeah, no Booker tonight. Make sure that the chat knows that. You see the Q tag there on Bradley Beal. Hebrew talks about KD and how he's been, doing work without Booker and Bill, and obviously Bill's questionable tonight. If Bill is out, I think
Beal's probable. I'll cut you off just so you know. Beal's in.
Okay,
I'm saying he's going to be in. Yeah,
he's in. I still think KD is more of an alpha than Bill at this point in the season, but I don't mind KD. I mean, that's a 10-2 is a hefty price tag for him, but you can see his usage there. He's going to shoot it a ton, right? In the around 20 times. He does a bit of it all. And if AD is out, I mean, I think you said AD is going to play as well. So if AD for whatever reason is out, I think I like KD a little bit more as well. This game has shootout potential. The Lakers are probably not very happy, right? They got blown out last time, lost the 2 previous before that, so they've lost 3 straight. Get AD back, get LeBron back in the desert. They want to win this game. It's a Western Conference team that they're going to see. I think we see a competitive game tonight. I think LeBron puts it on his shoulders to, pick this team up, even at 38, 39, however it is. So give me KD, give me LeBron. Those would be my two favorite players. LeBron had a terrible game last time out. So give me LeBron, give me KD, and then give me some of those value guys if we need them down low.
Yeah, one good thing about LeBron here tonight, too. I actually don't mind. I know AD's in, so that people probably won't go as high on this. It'll just be in some lineups probably for me. But just to note, didn't have to play the minutes the other night. That was one positive thing for a guy that I know he's doing some insane things at his age. Look at the ceiling games that he can still put up here, right? You go this season, you've got the 50, the 56, the 68, the 48. Like, he's still putting up solid games, but he got to rest the other night because of that. And now he got a couple days, get back in there. So I actually don't hate it. Like you said, I think for the guy to put the team on his back and get involved, it's going to be him. So I don't hate him either near the end of the night, but not as high on KD as you. Like I said, I'm going to play SGA from the game before. I'd probably actually try and get to like some Embiid or some of the guys we looked at earlier in the night. Now I can just turn on all games and go to the values like Embiid, LaMelo. These are where I'm trusting the projections. I like these values. We liked some of these 8K guys in there. So when I'm mixing and matching with those games early on, I like them more than the guys at the end of the night. I know Durant is there, but I do have more love for SGA, who's not popping as much, but I know why and how I'm playing him. So it's just that kind of idea from that perspective. And then other spots that I'm avoiding. So I think it's like Tatum and Luka, that 2 dudes that can literally crush me, but I'm just okay with it because I go with this and my plan and put it forward tonight. If it doesn't work tonight, we got a long NBA season ahead. So I feel pretty good about where I'm at. Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about on this slate or any other FanDuel thoughts that you can bring to the forefront for the people at the end here?
Yeah, I mean, I actually think AD in the game helps LeBron. I just do. I think, they feed off each other. Teams can focus on AD, not LeBron. LeBron can kind of do, his own thing. So I want AD to be in when I'm playing LeBron. Yeah, and I'm a little bit higher on KD than you are. I think he can score it so many different ways. And rebounds, obviously assists, all those things. I mean, I think the thing on FanDuel for me is just going to be, I think LaMelo Ball is a very good play tonight, 9,100. I think you almost have to play him, definitely in cash. And then I think on tournament teams, you have to look at him. But there's some good values over there. Just make sure you're checking out our stuff. It's going to get updated, right before lock, then throughout the night as well. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully everybody takes a look at that before we get going.
And these were the 2 plays we broke down, like Clarkson and Monk, but I just want to showcase it since we're there and we'll get out of here. But just the Russell side would prefer to play D'Lo when AD is out of the lineup. But this is written up last night. What ends up happening is now he comes back in and updates and says AD's in, maybe puts a different play in there or adjusts based off of that with different notes and things. So you can always do that. And then just to note too, if you go to NBA showdown. Not only do we have the projections, like we just showed you, you can go to the core report. We do it Monday through Saturday. That's why Hebrew's a busy guy. He's putting in the work. So of note, right? He's got his NFL first look. That's going to come off the site. That was a trial run to get him to the NBA. So that was just sort of something he could put up. That is free right now. If you want to go up and see his first look for NFL, it's probably not up for this week yet, but actually it should be. It is because it's Friday. I keep forgetting what day it is. But yeah, tonight, LA Phoenix. He's going to have 3 of his main cores. He'll break down the captains and why he's on them. I think it was our guy Kevin, who's won the back-to-back mega seed, said Hebrew on Suggs yesterday. More of a floor play, but maybe he can find some upside in a matchup where the Hawks are going to want to play fast. That was in this game last night. If this, then that. That's how Butter went and built his lineup and ended up getting him to the top and get another $2,500 Mega Millionaire Maker ticket. So congrats to him. Shout out to Hebrew again. Just a lot of praise for him, doing a lot of great work for us. You guys can go check it out. Go to the site. It's all there. You can see it. If you want to get in, now's the time to do it. Check it out. You get in a whole month for $62. Use the promo code MAYO over here. Get in on the action. Get all the stuff. You just go join now. Simple. Scroll down. Have a coupon. You do. It's code MAYO. We're on the Mayo Media Network for a reason. Shout out to my guy, Pat. You get in there. $62 a month to try out your first month. You get access to everything and more. If you don't believe us, believe other people. Go look at the testimonials. See what the people are saying. That gives you everything there. And I'm going to do a special sign up for those that waited around tonight. I'm going to refresh this. And then I'm going to hit the DraftKings Optimal just to see what it spits out early on. Again, this is going to update and change well before lock, but just to get curiosity out of the way here, it uses the entire salary. We've got George, Harden, Thompson, Kuzma, Gafford. You got Kevin Huerter in there. You've got Eason, Sengun. Again, this will update when the night goes on, but just little notes like this, things you can play around with and see, adjust it to your liking. And then, of course, we got FanDuel as well, sorted over there. It's LaMelo, it's Embiid, Gafford, Cunningham, 8,000 over there. We talked about him earlier. Harden, 7,700. I think Wemby, you said, was up there a little bit more. I liked him more over there. He's 8,500 over there. So lots of good stuff going on, guys. Ham, any final thoughts? Anything else you want to mention before I bring us home?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully we have another shipper. Butter, good luck tonight. Hope you're playing another Q. But I really like what you said and what Hebrew said about, if SGA goes off, you're going to need Monk with that. I think that's going to be the key tonight. And kind of Butter kind of touched on that as well with the guy, Suggs from last night. So that's some great points. I think I'm going to do a lot more of that tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to check it out for sure. See how the builds look as we get closer to lock. We'll have all the other content up on the site. You'll be able to see it. Our projections will update. We'll have the GPP core report. Title does the cash game stuff. The slate plan will be updated from the nuggets we just showed you now. And then these tools will come out sooner than later. By the end of the month, we should have the ceiling rankings, and then the correlation sheet will pop up as well. We've previewed those a couple times now. Like I said, you guys can go check it out. See all the testimonials on the site. That's going to do it for this one, guys. For Ham, for myself, ToeTagginTambo. Let's ship it.